Have you ever wondered why Lutherans and Catholics and others baptize infants? The 10-second answer is because their primary authority on such questions supports the baptism of infants. For the Roman Catholic Church, that is tradition, and for the Lutheran Church, that is the Bible. With a few Christian traditions insisting people not be baptized until they are old enough to understand the commitment they are making, and a few even expecting the baptized to have had a so-called born-again moment, the baptism of babies seems foreign to many, and they want more than the 10-second answer. We will divide the answer into parts, first looking at tradition as an authority in the Roman Catholic Church, and next time looking at the Bible as the authority for the Lutheran Church. To be clear though, any tradition that baptizes infants might include aspects of both answers. Again, for today, we will stick with tradition. So far as we can tell, Christians have been baptizing babies since the very beginning of the Church. Think of the Church Fathers. These were leaders who documented and directed the early Church as it became a cohesive organization across national borders and language barriers. We have several examples of an early Church Father writing in support of infant baptism. This goes as far back as Irenaeus in the 2nd century, with Hippolytus and Origen soon after. If we extend this out to Augustine and the early councils, we see constant support for infant baptism among the church leadership for hundreds of years. The fact that this is clarified so many times by an authority in the early church does suggest that there was some debate. However, the Church Fathers leaned on biblical examples and traditions going back to the apostles. While some Christians may have wanted to adopt other religions' views of baptism, such as that of John the Baptist, every authority we have from the early church supports baptizing babies. Moreover, some of the debate was about exactly when to baptize and imply babies were extremely young when baptized, with Cyprian rejecting a hard date such as the child's 2nd, 3rd, or even 8th day after being born. To consider one other source, the Didache is the earliest surviving document about Christian worship and practice. It may be older than some books of the New Testament or slightly younger. In any event, in chapter 7 concern baptism, there is no mention of the age of the candidates nor their level of understanding or commitment. The closest we get is the final suggestion that those whom can fast should be instructed to fast for 1 or 2 days before being baptized. One final note on the historical pressures. Because baptism is linked to salvation, for example in Mark chapter 16 verse 16, there was a fear that the unbaptized who died may not be saved. Given that infant mortality was much higher in the days before modern medicine, and it was not uncommon for children to die unexpectedly, children were baptized at a very young age just to be safe. This would have reinforced the tradition. Like we saw in our video on confirmation, the practice of confirmation and taking communion were both started at a much younger age in the Middle Ages as well. Aside from the adult-specific sacraments, marriage and ordination of priests, children were at one point fully involved in the sacramental traditions of the Roman Catholic Church at a very young age, as young as 4 years old. The second part of this video on the biblical argument which Lutherans made during the Reformation comes out 1 week after this video, so subscribe and click the bell to be notified about that. If a week has already passed, the second part should be suggested on your screen as we speak. In that case, subscribe anyway, as it really helps out the channel. We thank you for your support and hope to be a help to you too. It just takes a few minutes a day to learn all about the Bible and with it church traditions, and that is the sort of content we hope to share with you. Remember that you are loved and you matter. God bless you. Amen.